Albert Watson has made his mark as one of the world's most successful photographers since he began his career in 1970, blending art, fashion, and commercial photography. From portraits of Alfred Hitchcock and Steve Jobs to beauty shots of Kate Moss, Las Vegas landscapes, and still-life photographs of King Tutankhamun artifacts, Albert's diversity and body of work are unparalleled. His striking photographs and handmade prints are featured in galleries and museums around the globe and are included in the permanent collections of the National Portrait Gallery in London and the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, among others. Albert has won numerous honors, including an Order of the British Empire from Queen Elizabeth II for his contributions to the art of photography and a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Royal Photographic Society. Over the years, Albert's photographs have appeared on more than 100 covers of Vogue worldwide and have been featured in countless other publications, from Rolling Stone to Time to Harper's Bazaar. Albert has also created the photography for hundreds of ad campaigns for major companies such as Prada, Gap, Levi's, Revlon, and Chanel. He took the photographs for the 2019 Pirelli calendar and has shot dozens of Hollywood movie posters, including Kill Bill and Memoirs of a Geisha. In this video, we explore Watson's unique approach, blending technical mastery with a distinct cinematic style that sets him apart in the world of photography. Join us as we delve into his most impactful works, his creative philosophy, and his contributions to art and culture. My Book Through the Lens. Inspiring quotes from master photographers is now available for purchase. This book is a captivating and inspiring collection of insights, reflections, and wisdom from some of the most renowned photographers in history. Get your copy now. The link to purchase it on Amazon is available below in the description box. Albert Watson was born in Edinburgh, Scotland, the son of a physical education teacher and a boxer. He studied graphic design at the Duncan of Jordanstone College of Art and Design in Dundee, as well as film and television at the Royal College of Art in London. Though blind in one eye since birth, Watson also studied photography as part of his curriculum. In 1970, he moved to the United States with his wife, Elizabeth, who got a job as an elementary school teacher in Los Angeles, where Watson began taking photos mostly as a hobby. Later that year, Watson was introduced to an art director at Max Factor, who offered him his first test session, from which the company purchased 2 images. Watson's distinctive style garnered the attention of American and European fashion magazines such as Mademoiselle, GQ, and Harper's Bazaar, and he began commuting between Los Angeles and New York. Albert photographed his first celebrity in 1973, capturing a portrait of Alfred Hitchcock holding a dead goose with a ribbon around its neck for that year's Christmas issue of Harper's Bazaar. In 1975, Watson won a Grammy Award for the photography on the cover of the Mason Prophet album Come and Gone, and in 1976, he landed his first job for Vogue. With his move to New York that same year, his career took off. In addition to photography for the world's top magazines, Watson has created images for hundreds of successful advertising campaigns for major corporations such as Gap, Levi's, Revlon, and Chanel. He has directed more than 500 TV commercials and photographed dozens of posters for major Hollywood movies, including Kill Bill, Memoirs of a Geisha, and The Da Vinci Code. Throughout his career, Watson has also spent much of his time working on personal projects, capturing photographs from his travels and interests, from Marrakesh to Las Vegas to the Orkney Islands. Much of this work, along with his well-known portraits and fashion photographs, has been featured in museum and gallery shows around the world, and Watson's limited edition prints have become highly sought after by collectors. Since 2004, Watson has had solo shows at the Museum of Modern Art in Milan, Italy, the Kunsthaus Wien in Vienna, Austria, the City Art Center in Edinburgh, the Photo Museum in Antwerp, Belgium, and the NRW Forum in Dusseldorf, Germany. Watson's photographs have also been featured in many group shows at museums, including the National Portrait Gallery in London, the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, the Pushkin Museum of Fine Arts in Moscow, the International Center of Photography in New York, and the Dichterhallen in Hamburg, Germany. Watson has published several books, including Cyclops published in 1994, Meroc published in 1998, and Albert Watson published in 2007. 2 books were released in the fall of 2010. UFO, Unified Fashion Objectives, a look at 40 years of selected Watson fashion photographs, and Strip Search, a 2-volume set of hundreds of photographs Watson took in Las Vegas. In addition, many catalogs of Watson's photographs have been published in conjunction with shows, including the Vienna album published in 2005. Watson received a Doctor of Philosophy from the University of Dundee in 1995 and was inducted into the Scottish Fashion Awards Hall of Fame in 2006. His first exhibition in his homeland, Frozen, was held at the City Art Center of Edinburgh in 2006. Albert Watson currently lives and works in New York, continuing to inspire with his extraordinary talent. The composition draws the eye to the central figure of Inès de la Fressange, elegantly dressed in a black, fitted gown. Positioned under an imposing industrial structure, her placement establishes a strong focal point, creating a dramatic contrast between the delicate fashion and the heavy machinery surrounding her. The lines of the warehouse ceiling and the chains lead the viewer's gaze directly to her, enhancing her prominence. Her pose, with her head slightly tilted back, exudes both grace and confidence, asserting her presence against the mechanical backdrop. This image achieves a striking balance between elements of refinement and rawness. The central placement of de la Fressange amidst symmetrical, looming machinery gives a sense of stability, while the smoke surrounding her introduces a dynamic, almost ethereal quality. The balance between the dark tones of the gown and the lighter tones of the background adds further harmony, keeping her at the forefront despite the busy surroundings. The balance of light and dark, delicate and robust, creates a layered image that's rich in contrast and tension. Since this is a black and white photograph, tonal contrast plays a vital role. Watson uses the contrast between light and shadow to define textures and shapes, bringing depth to both the figure and the industrial background. The bright light above the La Fressange's head creates a halo effect, which draws the viewer's eye and adds an almost otherworldly glow. The dark gown against the misty, lighter tones of the background makes her figure pop, highlighting the elegance of Chanel fashion within a stark, industrial setting. The visual weight is concentrated on de la Fressange, as her dark silhouette stands out sharply against the lighter background. The heavy machinery around her adds a sense of grounded weight, contrasting with her slender form and enhancing her elegance. This juxtaposition creates a push and pull effect where the viewer is torn between the delicacy of her presence and the oppressive weight of the industrial elements, emphasizing the duality between strength and grace. Photographed in 1985, this image reflects the era's fascination with blending high fashion with unconventional, often gritty settings. During the 1980s, Chanel under Karl Lagerfeld embraced bold, sometimes provocative aesthetics, challenging traditional notions of luxury and femininity. By placing a couture model in an industrial environment, Watson captures the juxtaposition of the refined and the raw, making a statement about the versatility and power of modern femininity. This photograph embodies the evolving spirit of fashion, where luxury is not limited to polished settings but can hold its own in any environment, even one as imposing as an industrial warehouse. In summary, this photograph is a masterful blend of elegance and strength, using composition, balance, tonal contrast, and cultural symbolism to create a timeless image. The photograph is both a celebration of Chanel's sophistication and a bold exploration of fashion's place in contrasting spaces. The composition centers on a woman in traditional attire, holding a birdcage against a backdrop of dense cactus plants. This framing emphasizes her presence while embedding her within a setting reminiscent of Frida Kahlo's Mexican roots. The sharp lines of the cactus and the soft folds of her clothing create a striking visual texture, evoking both nature's resilience and human artistry. Her straight, forward-facing posture and steady gaze convey strength, almost as if she's channeling Kahlo's stoic spirit. Watson achieves balance through the symmetrical positioning of the cacti surrounding the figure, creating a natural frame that draws attention toward her. Her position, slightly lower than the cacti's top edges, anchors her in the scene without overwhelming her presence. The birdcage she holds adds subtle asymmetry, introducing an element of intrigue. This delicate addition balances her bold appearance with a fragile object, symbolizing a contrast between freedom and confinement that is often present in Kahlo-inspired imagery. The color palette is vibrant, with deep greens, warm oranges, and earthy browns dominating the scene. These colors feel organic and grounded, connecting to both the Mexican landscape and traditional attire. The woman's orange top stands out against the green backdrop, pulling the viewer's focus to her figure while evoking a sense of warmth and intensity. The blue sky adds a cool contrast, making the greens and oranges even more vivid and lively. This careful choice of colors mirrors Kahlo's use of bold hues, adding emotional weight and cultural resonance to the photograph. The woman holds significant visual weight, given her central positioning and the strong color contrast of her clothing against the greenery. Her vivid outfit and the birdcage create focal points that keep the viewer's attention anchored on her. The cactus background, while dense and textured, serves more as a framing device than a competing element, allowing her figure and the birdcage to dominate the image without distraction. This layering gives depth, with the cacti pushing the viewer's gaze back toward her. The photograph pays homage to Frida Kahlo, capturing elements associated with Kahlo's life and art. By placing this scene in Marrakesh, Morocco, Watson merges two rich cultural landscapes, emphasizing Kahlo's universal influence. The cactus, common in Mexican landscapes, evokes Kahlo's identity, resilience, and attachment to her heritage. The birdcage, potentially a symbol of captivity or longing, aligns with themes in Kahlo's work, where she often explored freedom, identity, and the constraints of the physical body. In this way, the photograph is not merely a portrait. It's a reimagining of Kahlo's legacy through another cultural lens, blending Mexican symbolism with the exotic textures and colors of Morocco. In summary, this image by Albert Watson is a layered, evocative piece that captures the spirit of Frida Kahlo through composition, color, and cultural symbols. The photograph reflects a fusion of cultural identities, honoring Kahlo's enduring influence while framing her legacy within a new geographical and aesthetic context. The composition is centered around a winding road that snakes through a vast, rugged landscape, leading the viewer's eye deep into the scene. This road is not only a physical pathway, but also an implied journey, guiding the viewer from the foreground through the midground and toward the towering, shadowy mountains in the background. The use of perspective and leading lines is powerful here, as the road's sharp curves echo the undulating forms of the surrounding hills. This composition draws attention to the road's path, creating a visual narrative of movement within a static, imposing landscape. Watson achieves a delicate balance between the natural and man-made elements. The road, although distinct, doesn't dominate the scene, but rather integrates seamlessly into the environment. The balance is also achieved through the symmetrical arrangement of hills and mountains on either side, which creates a sense of harmony and stability. The natural curvature of the land complements the bends of the road, resulting in a scene where each element feels intentionally placed, yet organic. The color palette is rich and earthy, dominated by dark browns, greens, and muted oranges in the foreground, with the distant mountains cloaked in shadowy grays and blacks. The golden hues of the grass and soil lend warmth to an otherwise somber scene, creating a subtle contrast with the ominous, almost monochromatic mountain backdrop. This careful selection of colors enhances the mood, as the warm tones evoke a sense of life amidst the bleak, rugged environment, while the cooler, darker shades reinforce the landscape's formidable and mysterious nature. The mountains in the background hold significant visual weight, towering over the road and creating a sense of grandeur. These dark, looming forms command attention, evoking a sense of isolation and respect for nature's raw power. The road, though smaller in scale, has substantial visual weight due to its placement in the foreground and its lightness against the darker surroundings. This interplay between the road and mountains creates a dialogue within the image, where the human path is dwarfed by nature's immensity, highlighting both the vulnerability and resilience of human presence. This image of the Isle of Skye reflects the wild, untamed beauty of the Scottish Highlands, a region historically associated with resilience, mysticism, and a deep connection to nature. By capturing the scene with such minimal human elements, Watson emphasizes the timelessness of this landscape, untouched by modernity. The road represents both a literal and metaphorical journey, resonating with themes of solitude and introspection. For viewers, the image may evoke a sense of wanderlust, as well as reverence for landscapes that remain largely unaltered by human influence. This photograph captures not only a place, but also a mood, a reflection on nature's power and the humility required to walk through it. In conclusion, this photograph by Albert Watson is a compelling exploration of scale, solitude, and the eternal relationship between humanity and the natural world. Through its composition, color, and cultural symbolism, the image speaks to the quiet yet profound beauty of the Scottish Highlands, reminding viewers of the serenity and mystery that such landscapes hold. Albert Watson, a legendary figure in photography, has captured the essence of countless superstars, from Kate Moss to Alfred Hitchcock. With over 100 Vogue covers to his name, he is responsible for some of the most recognizable images in pop culture. But what truly makes a photograph great? At 79, Watson shares a powerful insight. An image must have the power to be memorable, something that grabs you instantly. Known for his diverse portfolio that transcends fashion photography, Watson blends stunning portraits, striking landscapes, and compelling journalistic pieces. Whether it's an evocative shot of Uma Thurman, a candid moment of Steve Jobs, or mesmerizing visuals of Kate Moss in Marrakesh, his unparalleled execution is simply unmatched. Watson's work isn't merely about beautiful faces. It's a deep dive into the human experience, capturing the richness of life in all its forms. As a maestro of his craft since the early 70s, Watson offers invaluable advice to aspiring photographers. There are two types of photographers: those who are in fashion, and those who find joy in working within the fashion industry. For the latter, fashion is important, but what drives them is the quality of the image. I undoubtedly belong to that category. To be a fashion photographer is to embrace a myriad of worlds. Watson's lens is not confined to conventional beauty. It embraces the entirety of the human condition, often portraying those who have nothing but their bodies to share. His photographs evoke emotions that transcend their visual representation. They resonate with an unspoken melody, revealing something miraculous within the mundane. Watson's photographs are more than mere images. They are narratives waiting to be uncovered. They invite viewers to experience stories that extend beyond the surface. Life is not always glamorous. It's messy, chaotic, and beautiful. Yet, he acknowledges that mainstream fashion magazines rarely seek images that depict such raw realities. Instead, Watson engages deeply with his subjects, positioning himself within the frame, embodying the interaction and emotions that emerge. A photographer's mission, as Watson articulates, is to heed the call of the retina, responding to the visual stimuli that demand attention. The camera becomes a vessel for transforming fleeting moments into timeless treasures, turning individuals into icons. Fashion, in Watson's world, is not just a trend. It symbolizes a mode of self-expression and a declaration of freedom, breaking free from traditional constraints. As we reflect on Albert Watson's legacy, let us remember that great photography is a celebration of life's complexities. It challenges us to look beyond the surface, to embrace the myriad stories woven into every frame. His work inspires us to see the extraordinary in the ordinary, reminding us that every click of the shutter has the potential to resonate deeply, leaving an indelible mark on our hearts and minds.